Let me be straight with you. I've been going back and forth on this one for a while now. And I don't say that lightly, because usually, by the time I sit down to make one of these videos, I've got a clear direction in my head. But this game is genuinely one of the hardest calls I've had to make all tournament. Because you're not just picking between two good football teams here, you're picking between two completely different football philosophies, two different answers to the same question. What does winning football actually look like? One team says, control everything. The other says, just give me half a second of space. And honestly, both answers scare me. So let's get into it. France versus Spain, FIFA World Cup 2026 semifinal. And I'm going to walk you through three things today: the tactical picture, the lineup questions that actually matter, and then my prediction at the end. Stay with me on this one because I think the detail here is what separates a good preview from a great one. The tactical picture. Here's the thing about Spain that people genuinely underestimate heading into this game. They are not the same Spain that used to bore you to sleep with sideways passes and recycled possession. That era is gone. What Luis de la Fuente has built is something more practical. A team that can dominate the ball when they need to, but also press hard, transition quickly, and hurt you with directness. Think of it almost like a more attacking version of what Bournemouth do under Andoni Iraola. Purposeful, aggressive, but with real technical quality threading through every line. Their biggest individual weapon is obvious: Lamine Yamal. At 17 years old, this kid is already one of the most terrifying one-versus-one players in world football. Left channel, right channel, it doesn't matter. If he gets the ball with pace and a defender in front of him, the outcome is almost always interesting. But here's what makes Spain different to most teams built around one superstar. Yamal isn't the whole plan. He's the headline, but the article underneath him is written by Pedri, Rodri, Olmo, and the movement patterns that connect all of them into something coherent. Spain's collective attacking transitions are genuinely elite. They're not looking for the long ball or the speculative switch. They want to win possession in the right areas, shift the ball quickly through the thirds, and arrive in dangerous positions before the opposition defensive shape resets. That's the engine. Now France. And this is where my head starts spinning a little. Because while Spain's threat is collective and structural, France's threat is just different in nature. It's more explosive, more personal, more terrifying in a way that's harder to prepare for tactically. Think about the number of players in this French squad who can single-handedly change a game's outcome. Mbappé is the obvious name, but then you've got Dembélé, one of the most unpredictable dribblers in football. You've got Barcola, whose acceleration in behind is genuinely frightening. You've got Olise, who can pick a pass in tight spaces and find angles that most players wouldn't even see, and Dua as a dynamic option in behind. That's 4 or 5 genuine difference makers, and you simply cannot mark all of them out of the game simultaneously.
Spain neutralizes one.
And the next one punishes them. That's the nightmare scenario for De La Fuente tonight. Here's the tactical tension at the heart of this semifinal. France are most dangerous when they can transition quickly. Spain are best when they keep the ball. So theoretically, Spain's most effective form of defense against France is possession itself. Don't give France the ball. Don't let Mbappé receive in space. Don't let Dembélé drift inside on his stronger foot. Don't give Olise the half second he needs to think. Simple in theory, extremely difficult in practice against this French side. One specific thing I want to flag here: Mbappe's movement has genuinely evolved. He's not just the straight-line sprinter who tore Mascherano apart back in 2018. That player still exists, and that version is already terrifying. But now he layers in these intelligent drops into the half space, receiving between the lines, playing the layoff, and then making the run in behind after he's already unbalanced the defensive structure. He uses his first movement to commit defenders, then punishes them with his second movement. And when that layoff finds Dembélé or Barcola in space on the edge, Spain's center backs suddenly have a massive problem because they're already out of position from tracking Mbappe's first run. Spain need to be incredibly disciplined about not following him into those zones. The lineup questions. On Spain's end, the biggest conversation for me is whether Pedri starts. I believe he should. This game, more than almost any other, demands a midfielder who is genuinely press-resistant and can circulate the ball under pressure without losing it. Rodri provides the platform, but Pedri provides the creativity and the ability to play through France's press in tight spaces. If Spain are going to control the tempo, and they need to control the tempo, Pedri is the man. The other question is the right side: Oyarzabal or Nico Williams. My preference, if Nico is physically available, is to start him. Even if you only get 60-65 minutes out of him before you manage the load, the pace he brings on that right channel gives France real problems. Lucas Digne is not built to track a sprinting Nico Williams in behind all night. I'd also push for Pedro Porro ahead of the more conservative defensive option. Spain shouldn't set up reactively against France. They should impose themselves and play proactively to their strengths. Porro's ability to complement Yamal on overlapping runs from deep gives Spain a very real 2 versus 1 threat down the left channel, and that's where France could be pinned back tonight. For France, the lineup is fairly settled. The one genuine fitness question surrounds Kone and Camavinga in the midfield, with Rabiot as the deeper presence. If Kone is fit enough to start, he goes in. The man has been excellent when available in this tournament, and his energy and defensive tenacity in midfield would be a real asset against Pedri and Rodri. Up front, Barcola over Dua is my preference. Barcola's defensive work rate is noticeably better, and his pace in behind will give Cubarsí and Lenormand serious problems whenever France get the chance to transition. Right. Here's where I land after everything. Spain are a genuinely excellent football team. I want to be clear about that. They're organized, they're technically excellent, they're capable of dominating possession at tournament level, and they have a world-class individual in Lamine Yamal who can manufacture goals and moments out of nothing. If things click for Spain tonight, Pedri plays at his ceiling, Rodri controls the tempo, Yamal beats his man consistently, they absolutely have the quality to reach a World Cup final. But when I look at France's attacking firepower and I measure it against Spain's defensive recovery pace, I have real doubts. Cubarsí and Lenormand are excellent central defenders when the game is organized and structured in front of them. But France, specifically Mbappé, Dembélé, and Barcola, are exactly the kind of players who punish you in those half-second transition windows, and those windows will come tonight. Spain's defensive shape has been solid throughout this tournament, but the quality of what France can do in transition is a different tier to anything Spain has faced so far. There's also a very simple truth about this French team that sits at the back of my mind. If France score first, this game becomes extremely difficult for Spain. Chasing a game against France with Mbappé on the counter is not a position anyone wants to be in. My head says France win this one. And not because I don't respect Spain, I genuinely do, but because France have more individual weapons, a more dangerous transition game, and the kind of clinical edge that tends to decide tight knockout matches at this level. France to win, 2-1. Pedri and Yamal will give everything they have, and I genuinely hope Spain prove me wrong. But walking into this game with cold logic, France are the better team right now, and over 90 or 120 minutes, that difference should show. Whatever happens tonight, it's going to be a special game of football. Final third. See you at the full-time whistle.